It's Monday morning. Kern County, along with the other counties in the San Joaquin region, have been under the governor's stay-at-home order. That coming right from the state as a direct result, they say, of ICU capacity availability. The state saying our region is under the 15% mandate, meaning restaurants can no longer offer outdoor seatings. Hair salons, barber shops also having to shut down for at least 3 weeks. And joining us this morning to talk about that current stay-at-home order and the impact locally is Kern County Chief Administrative Officer Ryan Alsop. Ryan, thank you so much for being here this morning. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike.
First of all, can you just go into that just as a specific, as far as this being a regional thing, how are we locally, and are we being put in there and under this restriction so if cases in other regions need ICU, they send them to us?
I think that's a part of the plan. I think that's some thought. Some of that thought has gone into this. I mean, the governor's calling the shots on this. The state, they've broken us into 5 regions. We're in the Central Valley region. Central Valley region, the last time I checked, I think yesterday, was about 6% capacity locally. We're about 19%, so we're over the 15. Our hospitals are. We're seeing an increase in hospitalizations in an ICU, but we're right now good. I think our hospitals are prepared overall. This is what they do. This is what chief medical officers and these hospital administrators that we have here prepare for. We're on the phone with them every day. We've spent the time, the resources in squaring away that whole issue, making sure that we're going to be able to meet the demand when needed. Each of these hospitals have their own independent surge plans. They're all required to go 40% above their current capacity. Those numbers aren't part of the figures that we look at on a daily basis. So we're prepared. We're concerned, but the issue is that this virus is here. It's spreading. We're not able to stop it. We need to try and slow it down. And it's all about hospital capacity. It's always been about that for us here in Kern County. And I think we have, over the last 9 months, really focused on that and made the investments needed in order to make sure that was we were prepared. And as you know, Mike, part of that is making sure we have the available staffing for ICU beds. And we've staked out a position in that marketplace and are prepared to draw down more nurses if need be. We have a contract in place, and while other counties across the nation are struggling to try and position themselves in that market, it's highly competitive, as you know. These nurses are in high demand. Kern County quickly, early on, got into that market, and so we feel like we're prepared, but we'll see how things go in the coming weeks.
You know, as this thing has gone on, we've sensed a frustration within some of our city and county leaders. I think yours, you at the last time when we bumped back into the purple tier, you took the podium and were a little bit frustrated there. It seems like almost every time that Kern County reaches that goal that the governor or the state puts in front of us, that another obstacle gets put in place. Do you think they sense our frustration here on this local level?
I think they do. I think that the frustration shared all across the state in almost every county, whether it's by county or city officials or by business owners, people like restaurant owners or others. I mean, people are frustrated. And there have been a slew of changes through this. I mean, the most recent change is now we're in these 5 regions, and now hospital capacity is the primary metric that we're all kind of focused on. We used to be focused on that. We got away from it. We're back at that. But it's tough to pivot. We're doing the best that we can, and we are pivoting and adjusting our priorities, shifting resources, shifting focus to make sure that we're not only trying to meet the requirements that the state is putting on us, but we're trying to manage through all this. With businesses, I think that a lack of a pathway to sustain some sort of business activity, real business activity that actually matters, right? Where business owners can pay employees, pay their bills, do all the things to survive that they need to. when they are not given a pathway to survive, I think that the governor runs into problems with compliance, and I think you're seeing that all over the state today.
Very good. And real quickly, we're out of time, but Ryan, I wanted to get your reaction to that lawsuit that several residents have banded together to put forward to try and get back open.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I think that it's about survival, and these are real people with real lives. They've got they've got bills to pay. In many cases, particularly with restaurants, small businesses, their lifetime savings are invested in these businesses. And when, they are facing literally death of their business, they are working to do everything they can to survive. So I don't blame them for pushing back. I think that a more clear pathway, I think businesses are capable of doing this in some capacity under strict guidelines and protocols so that everybody is safe, so that a transmission of this disease is minimal. We know that it is minimal in business settings. Most of this is happening at home in private settings. The governor's got to give these folks a pathway to sustain themselves, and if not, he's going to have a real problem with compliance on his hands, and that is again what we're seeing today. It's a real problem. We'll just see how it plays out.
Very good. Ryan Alsop, CAO of Kern County, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.